Northwest Montana coming together with an outpouring of support for wildfire evacuees.
Crews making every effort to protect the historic Lake McDonald Lodge and glacier from the growing Sprague fire.
And an unusual first day of school for Bitterroot students because of that bad air.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 10 o'clock news on KPAX, Montana's news leader.
Good evening, I'm Jill Valley.
And I'm Dennis Bragg. We begin tonight with some good news on the fire coverage. Some residents living near the 108,000-acre Rice Ridge fire back home tonight.
The Missoula County Sheriff's Office lifted the mandatory evacuation orders for about 430 homes late this afternoon, downgrading those homes just to evacuation warnings. Take a look at this map. The area extends east from Highway 83 with the northern border being Cedar Street and the southern border being Whitetail. This includes Seeley Lake Elementary School and Seeley Swan High School. Specific street names can be found on our website.
Now, the Rice Ridge fire continues to grow, but at a slower rate than the explosive growth we saw over the weekend. Now, terrain, high temps, and low relative humidity have been giving firefighters fits all season, but the dense smoke is now making things a little less challenging. Well, in some ways, maybe even more challenging in some ways for the Rice Ridge fire team.
MTN's Don Fisher shows us what is making this fire so difficult to contain and what crews are hoping to accomplish this week.
Greg Ponson's incident management team has tons of Northern Rocky firefighting experience, and on Tuesday, they got settled into their new temporary home near Seeley Lake. Fire Information Officer Mike Cole says the last team did a great job of keeping the fire from hitting nearby structures and also gave them a good base to build on. But the dense smoke in the air has made some parts of the fight even more challenging.
We've been unable to get our aircraft up to do any work on the fire or even to identify exactly where the fire has moved to on the east side of the fire, and we know that it's moved probably 20 miles east, maybe a little bit more than that from the original fire origin. So we know general locations, but doing a lot of recon on the south side and the southeast side of the fire today to figure out exactly where that fire is sitting.
Cole says the Rice Ridge fire grew by about 10,000 acres on Monday, but it was mostly due to engulfing the Reef fire, which is burning in the Bob Marshall Wilderness. This team has also taken over the fight of the Liberty Fire, which started near Arlee and is now burning about 17 miles southeast near Seeley Lake.
So we essentially have two fires here in the immediate area of Seeley Lake, and that's a big area to cover and a big area to try to figure out where our crews and our equipment can work and get the most efficient use out of them. And we're still dealing with the weather just like all the other fires in Montana.
Cole says not just this, but every crew around the state has their hands tied when it comes to resources, but they aren't giving up hope that they can keep these structures and the Seeley Lake residents safe.
So we have shortages on crews, engines, aircraft, even EMTs nationwide to fill orders that are outstanding, that every fire in the country needs resources right now to get a handle on what they're working on.
In Seeley Lake, Don Fisher, MTN News.
The Lincoln County Sheriff's Office is confirming 10 homes and outbuildings are destroyed in the Caribou fire burning near Eureka. Officials say that's still an unofficial number. The blaze grew 2,000 acres last night, bringing the total fire to just over 17,000 acres. Most of that in the U.S. There's 2,000 acres, though, that have burned up the border in Canada. Mandatory evacuations are still in place for any residents north of Tule Lake in the West Kootenai, and pre-evacuation still in place for those south of the lake. The fire is still the #1 priority in the nation, and Incident Commander Bob Habeck says they've been seeing some more resources come in, but they still need more help. Residents are coming together for those who fled the flames in the West Kootenai area late last week due to danger from the Caribou fire. Those hundreds of evacuees have seen an outpouring of support from not only the tight-knit Amish community, but the town of Eureka and Lincoln County as well.
MTN's Jack Ginsburg shows us how the community is making this disaster just a little more bearable for their neighbors.
We had a visit from the Border Patrol, and he said, "You need to get out now. It's evacuation." I said, "How much time?" He says, "You don't understand. Do you have your truck keys? Start it and leave now."
Don Doughton and his family are one of the many residents in the West Kootenai area that were placed under mandatory evacuation orders last Friday. He says that no matter what the situation may be, the West Kootenai community, that also has an Amish community, is always there for one another.
When things come down and we have bad storms, or we have large snow, or we have things especially like this, you will not see a tighter knit group of people, and it doesn't matter, any of the differences are all washed aside at that point. We all walk as one and we come together.
Although hundreds have had to evacuate, The shelter in Eureka is currently only housing 5 residents because of the outpouring of support from their neighbors and community members.
We had offers from 8 different people coming in on phone calls and everything. Please come stay at our house. So the open arms in this area are just unbelievable.
Not only has the West Kootenai community been there for each other in a time of need, but the town of Eureka and Lincoln County as well.
This goes back to the folks here in Lincoln County, Montana and surrounding areas. This is all on their own nickel. These aren't something that they went out and bought with other people's money. This is what they want to do and can do. And by the time you put all these little pieces together, it becomes very huge, the support effort.
In Eureka, Jack Ginsburg, MTN News.
And the smoke again filling the valleys of western Montana. Any chance, any relief from the poor air quality? Let's now check in with Erin Yost at the Storm Tracker Weather Center.
Sorry, doesn't look very good over the next couple of days. We will continue to see these smoky, hazy skies as long as we sit underneath this ridge of high pressure. We need a big system to move it out. I do not see a big system in the near future. Hamilton today, more of the same. First Security Bank ICAM, you can see we do have a ridge of high pressure in the vicinity that did allow a couple of clouds to stream in from the northwest today above all of that smoke and haze, if you could even see it, but we are not going to see any precipitation just yet. So air quality continues to suffer. We might be talking thunderstorms though Thursday night and again on Friday. Details on that coming up in your full forecast.
On to the Lolo Peak fire now, where authorities are lifting the mandatory evacuation orders that were put into place on the 48,000 acre fire. The Ravalli County Sheriff's Office has announced today the evacuation order between Bass Creek Road and Hannaford Avenue is downgraded to an evacuation warning. Evacuation warnings remain in place for some portions of Highway 93 and Highway 12. You can see those in yellow on this map.
The Sprague fire that burned the Sperry Chalet and forced evacuations on the west side of Glacier National Park saw significant growth over the past 24 hours. It is now more than 13,000 acres. An evacuation order that was put in place Sunday remains in effect. This order runs from the south end of Lake McDonald north to Logan Pass. It includes the Sprague Creek Campground, the Avalanche Campground, and about 55 homes. MTN's Nicole Miller shows us how wildfire smoke is also impacting the park.
From here in Apgar Village, the fire's about 10 miles away across the lake to the north. You can't even see the outline of the mountains. It's so smoky out, and the beach here is lined with these charred needles and ashes.
Just 2 days ago, a strong north wind picked up, and that's when we got all this ash and debris, and it was literally flying through the air.
It's been a busy summer for Seth Ordahl, who works in Apgar Village as a manager for the Glacier Park Boat Company. But since lightning sparked the Sprague fire on August 10th, the impacts of it have left their mark on the area.
Today is definitely the smokiest I've seen it down here. Usually when you look out this direction, you can see Rocky Point, which is only a 1.5 miles, 2 miles away, and you can't even see maybe 3/4 of the way to that.
About 9 miles away, the Lake McDonald Lodge area remains under an evacuation order. Fire managers are taking every precaution to protect the lodge and surrounding structures. But with fires burning across the nation, firefighting resources are spread thin.
We're competing with 78 other large incidents. So we're all competing and everything's being prioritized, whether it's in, our region alone or nationally.
Local Flathead firefighters have been pitching in, laying hoses and setting up sprinklers to help make the area more defensible if the fire should reach it.
We've had help from our local fire departments across the valley, lending their fire trucks and their personnel in to help us around that Lake McDonald Lodge area, and we deeply, deeply appreciate that.
Reporting from Glacier National Park, Nicole Miller, MTN News.
Now you can get to Logan Pass, but you have to go from the east side of the park. And if you're going to the park and you want to know how bad the smoke is going to be, they have park webcams, and we have a link on our website, KPAX.com.
Still ahead, Aaron says the smoky sky is probably going to be with us for a few more days at least. Up next, the latest on the poor air quality and the forecast.
And later in sports, Montana must now prepare for a matchup with an old rival that could be the toughest test in program history. Still ahead here on MTN.